In the last 20 minutes, let's go around. Who has problem areas that we need to address? Who has trouble drawing hands? A few people? All right, let's go over a quick thing of hands. And this stuff is, in terms of teaching it, I have to kind of teach it the same way, which is, to start off with a shape. In this case, a square.
Diamond.
Well, I'm leaning, so it's a square. I'm leaning. But you can be a diamond. But just keep in mind that the fingers are going to be pointing up. So, square, diamond, whichever you want to call it. Draw a circle off that corner. And you guys are drawing in pencil, so you'll be erasing most of that. We'll get to the fingers now. The fingers are going to be off the top of the box, and if I were to draw a hand straight up, it would be like that. Top of the box, and put another box, and then you'll want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 lines coming straight out for the sake of doing it. Those are going to be your 4 fingers. Your 4 fingers are going to come off the top of this square, and they're going to expand no further out than the space that that square provides. So that's your start. 8 lines, equally spaced apart. 8 lines creating 4 fingers. You should have 4 fingers. You should have 8 lines. If you have any more or less than that, something is going on. 4 fingers, 8 lines. Take a look at your hand, either hand, and look and see where it is that your fingers line up. They're obviously not all the same length. You've got 1 finger. Let's take the first finger. Let's put in, if that finger ends there, and then you can say, okay, well, the second finger is taller than that. And that ends there. The third finger a little bit shorter, but not as short as the first finger. And this is my hand that I'm working with. If your hand has different proportions, you can work with that. You can make up your own, whichever. And then the last finger is the shortest. So again, if I can erase, I'll erase these lines. And I'd end up with a square with 4 rectangles poking out the top of it. Your thumb is going to come off of this corner where you had that circle. Another rectangle, or you can try to create the shape of a thumb if you want. But that's how you build a hand geometrically. That's how you build it. Now, if you want that hand to do something other than just standing straight up, that's when your 3-dimensional shapes come in. You turn that original box into a cube. Turn those 4 fingers into 4 cylinders. And now that you have your geometrical shapes built in, you can do some of the things that, those details that make them look like fingers, those lines, those creases. Just make sure you're following the curve of those 3-dimensional shapes. And try to sketch as lightly as possible so when you do your final outline, your outline stands out more than the lines that you use to create it. If you're looking for a book to study hands, look for a guy by the name of Vern Hogarth. He's probably got several books in each of the libraries. I think that's with me. Did a book series called Dynamic Hands. And it's probably the industry standard on drawing really crazy hands. The good thing about hands is that you always have another hand to draw from. So if you get stuck, just look at your other hand. And it never hurts to practice. It never hurts to just draw hands, because they are very tricky, they are very challenging. I devoted entire sketchbooks to just drawing hands. So don't feel bad by sharpening your craft. If you guys are doing more cartoony characters, you don't have to be so stiff. You don't have to follow these guidelines so much. I mean, it would help if you used the general idea, but you can just build those shapes and make them a little bit more fluffy. What else has got a problem area? Anyone? Anything that anybody's wrestling with? How do you draw?
Superhero head, superhero heads, but I never told those.
Superhero heads?
Yeah.
Like with a mask on, or
Yeah.
just regular?
With a mask on with Iron Man's head, I can't do that.
For you, like with superheroes in comics, you're drawing something of the word is an archetype, something of an icon. Like they're supposed to look like perfect humans, perfect men, perfect women. So you're gonna be very strictly following skull shape. We're talking about bald-headed character, right? All right. So the same way I started that other head with the circle, this way I wouldn't be as loose with it. Like you're going to draw the circle, but your jaw might be a little bit more angular. So there's the top of my head. I'm trying to do this so that I don't have to erase it. I'm going to make that jaw a little bit more angled. Now, if I were to do the guidelines for this, I would do the same vertical guidelines, but with heroic characters, you usually want the face to turn down a little more. So instead of those straight across guidelines, I would round them so that when I put in my features, those features are kind of just turned down like the character is angry or, thinking or looking at something very intently. Since the head is turned down, the nose will be turned down as well. You're probably not going to see too much of the nostrils. That's like basically how I would approach a heroic head. Turn it down and just make it as serious as possible. You follow that?
Yeah.
A little bit? You have another? So, make this. Any other questions?